what's significant about this? When I've finished with the aircraft carrier, what do? Put it on a truck and take it to the dump? What do I do with it?
Reuse it.
Take it apart and reuse it. Thank you. That's exactly what I do with it. So the next project, I have the same pieces that I know they still all fit together. I might need some different ones, like I might need more windows or something for my next project, but I don't throw the whole lot away and start again. I take what I've got, I massage it, I reuse it, and if when I finish my new project, I have 50,000 pieces left over, do I throw them away?
I've thrown a lot of compacts wood. eBay, baby.
I don't know, a lot of mine were too janky. Legos don't have firmware.
Legos don't have. So no, if you've got a few pieces left over, you put them in your resource pool. You leave them for the next project. You keep a hold of them. You don't throw them away unless they're past their use by date.
Or you have a green initiative.
Okay. So let's come to a live part of this demo now. Okay. We've got to take a typical scenario. We've got an online retailer. They launch a new campaign. We're upset by a success, basically. So if we have too much success, if we actually have more traffic than we expect, we'll get poor response times, which leads to dissatisfaction, bad press, bad blogs, anything else, and loss of revenue. So what we've put here is a demonstration environment. So let me explain. So that's what's on the outside. And let me just flip this through. We'll just come to System Insight Manager. You see we've got a virtualized server here. We're running VPAR for this demo. Now, you've heard about our various technologies available in our cell-based systems already. I'm not sure. NPAR, VPAR, Integrity Virtual Machine.
All the different partitions.
But, okay, so we're using VPAR in the demonstration, but it's not restricted to that. So what we've got is a hardware resource pool. So here's some of the hardware. We're using some Blade, we're using some cell-based servers, and some EVA storage.
Cell-based servers is the other thing we call it.
So SuperDome is the top end of the cell-based server range. So you're going from here down to the lab, aren't you? So you actually see the cells when you're down there and see why we call them a cell. But we've got a software library of various operating systems we need, and then we've simulated a user environment with users. We're actually using HP LoadRunner, so that's a virtualized user. We're using Apache as our web service, BEA as our, maybe I should call it Oracle WebLogic these days. It's old fella. We're using an Oracle database, and our transactions go end to end through that environment. Pulling it all together, we've got our management and automation stack. So we've got things like our business availability. We're actually using the site scope part of that, which is a component of LoadRunner. We've got Network Manager over here, Network Center. We've got Operations Center down here. We've got System Insight Manager here, which is our infrastructure management. So we've brought all these management tools together, and we're going to just show how we would sort of expect a lot of people could use this environment. And I just need my glasses because I'm getting old. So let me just start the scene here.
So Richard, where is the equipment again?
Physically, it's now in Houston.
It's in Houston. Okay. So this is running on SuperDome in Houston.
Just give me a few seconds here. I'll just move it to the side. Application just takes a few seconds to run up. It's just pretty complex. So this is LoadRunner that I'm bringing up here, with at the bottom. So up top here is LoadRunner. And this is actually just bringing up and down the load as we want it. Below here is SiteScope. So SiteScope is a very powerful tool for monitoring an environment. Not only monitoring, but you can also raise an alarm, you can inject transactions and so on. So hey, if I'm getting a performance issue, where am I getting it? A lot of people today, the first problem when I get an error is, I don't know where the problem is. So I've got to start by trying to identify the problem. So we're starting off with a shared resource domain. Has anybody talked to you yet about things like Global Workload Manager, some of our management tools? At a high level? Okay. So that's been done, so you know a little bit about that. So what we've got is a shared resource domain. Let's go straight through the screen across these 4 partitions here. So these aren't 4 SuperDomes, they're actually partitions on the dome. So we're able to move resources. We've got it's a small setup. Hey, it's a demonstration. We didn't want to put excessive resources behind it. So we've got a shared resource domain which says the resources within here can be moved around. And that's what we're planning to do. So we're starting to add some users onto here now, and we're actually starting to track our response time, and we're tracking our sales volumes. Same on that screen over there, but I tend to point over this side. So we're stepping up the number of users, and as we do that, what typically happens? Keep processing, but we reach a point where we start to no longer meet our SLA. When do most people know when that SLA has been exceeded?
Customer complaints.
Customer complaints. The phone's ringing, somebody's complaining, hey, this isn't what it ought to be, I can't place my order, whatever. When is the right time that IT should be noticing this happening?
2 minutes before it happens.
Long before it happens, yeah. So, our user load's going up, our response times come up. We've actually received a message here which says my response time is, what does that say, 0.94? We had a 0.75 response time threshold. So in this environment, what we've said is, okay, if we've got this, and in fact, with this end we know we triggered it on a web layer. I'm going to show a difference here between the web layer out here and what we can do back here, because I want to show the comparison. The other thing is, this is actually showing visibly, these are performance just monitoring tools, that this partition here has 2 CPU, that one there, the database has 2 CPU. So you notice they both have 2 each at the moment. That's important to watch. So where we're at, if I come back to here, well that just triggers through, is we increase the number of users. That increases my response time to the point where our monitoring tools trigger an alarm over at Operations Center. That's this alarm down here. Operations Center in this environment says, okay, I know what to do there. I'll go to System Insight Manager and I'll go and provision another, in this case, blade. I'll scale out my web layer. And we're talking SuperDomes here, no, we're talking here a front-end web layer scaling out, because I want to show you the difference. So I take a resource out of my pool, or whatever you like. How long does that take to boot? How long does it take to boot a ProLiant?
A ProLiant?
Yeah,
15, 20 minutes.
that's a long time. But yeah, it's longer than you'd like, right? When that's built, up and running with my Apache, it takes us in this environment about 3. I then need to actually recognize it's ready to go out and say, okay, go load balance across this thing. So here I'm load balancing now, so I now can put more transactions through. So now I can start to increase the load, but what you'll see over here is here's my enterprise server, and you'll see that I've already gone from 2 CPU to 3 CPU on my application layer. My database layer is also pretty busy, and I expect that to transition pretty quickly as well. Now this doesn't take a reboot, this doesn't take a service interruption, it is just the dynamic ability to add resource. And that's something that is really a different order of magnitude when it comes to building another server and scaling out compared to scaling up, just reallocating resources.
What load balancer are you using?
What load balancer we're using? Like here.
Yeah, I mean, like you can add all the computers you want, but if they're not added to the load balancing configuration, they don't actually let customers. So you're using a load balancer. So which one are you using?
Well, sorry. Let me just carry on here. I wanted to get to this.
Since you obviously require integration with it.
Well, no. The load balancer is actually